Anything else, Ivan?
Just mention that Tom Graff was down and did the fall sampling. The billing that you have, the $6,300, was actually from spring testing that basically is just coming through on the bill, because we did not get the test results until, I believe, July. And I'm surprised that they didn't have the billing come through them, but it probably came through in sometime in August, possibly. But anyway, so the next round of sampling, the fall sampling, was performed today.
And that bill will be coming in.
That bill will be coming in here 2 months or 3 months down the road.
Okay, thanks, Ivan.
Thank you.
On the agenda, Jim.
Good evening, folks. These two ladies here are Don Newman and Renata Parker. Both these ladies are my co-workers, work at the recycling center. They've been very productive women in working to keep our costs down and our efficiency up. We've run from over 8 to 10 people. Now we're down to 3 full-time ones and 2 part-time ones. So, not just this last year, but we're down to that point where equipment and changes in the way we recycle things, or able to recycle things, have dropped our staff numbers. Just a passing note, we were talking about cost, Mr. Frohart, about possibly having to change. According to your last audit, 2008-2009, the tonnage that you buried and those items related to that cost $43.48 a ton. You're currently charging $35 a ton. So you're $8.50 a ton under what your operational costs are for the landfill proper itself, not including anything set aside for the post closure or anything like that.
Would you said, repeat that, please.
You have said you're probably going to have to increase the tipping fees. 2008-2009 year, which you just got through auditing, the cost as they've listed them there, taking out the recycling, no recycling cost, and just the direct costs that are associated with the landfill on that budget that were expended, figure out to be $43.48 a ton cost. That year, 2008-2009, that we were in at that time when they audited that expenditures, our tipping fee was $35. You're about $8.50 under what it costs you to operate the landfill.
You're forgetting the assessment.
Pardon?
You're forgetting the assessment.
No, yes, I'm not forgetting it. I'm just saying that if you just use your tipping fees, like maybe some of these other counties use a different scale of tipping fees.
Oh yeah, I was just looking, you know, the total picture here. That's why
Yeah,
it's both assessment and tipping fee, okay?
But that's just something that I've seen when I was looking to see where we were on our audit as to expenditures on some of this recycling stuff. And I was kind of interested in that. It kind of goes in hand with some of these handouts here. We'll take the bottom piece of it. It says SARC materials collected for 2009-10. These are the towns that have been very cooperative in reporting to us tonnages. Did you not get a packet?
Well, yeah, but we've got 50 pages.
Yeah,
Which one
okay, we'll go to this page here. Materials collected for 2009-10. Last page in the packet, unless you heard about it.
Oh, sure.
And I'll get you one here in just a second. What it tells you, and we won't go through all this, you can take it home, share it with your town council people, please, so they get an opportunity to see where all this is. But this is telling which towns that did weigh stuff. Did you get one of these two items?
I I did, I forgot my packet at the office.
I got some more here if you need one, and Elder Cell does. But that tells you the towns that we got, so it gives you the background that we need to make comparisons, especially like with Sac City, who does a curbside independent of anything else, and then they do a commercial thing, which is very, very fortunate and very useful tool, because that tells you exactly what households are doing, as opposed to Shaler, who picks up everybody that lives in town, or Odebo, who everybody that has a business in town. So that's relatively good information. The next packet that you would see is Sac County landfill. This is the 4 quarters that Larry and JB put together. It tells each quarter, lists everything, the towns, of how much they dumped, what kind of goods they put out there, which is municipal solid waste, which is C&D. Now, when we get to that C&D part of it, you'll notice that it's gotten higher over the last year and a half because of catastrophe, hardships, blah, blah, blah. It also, what that's doing to the landfill is changing the ratio of that. You may want to sometime address how C&D is charged as opposed to solid waste, because Grandma probably doesn't have her house shingled every year because she doesn't live in every town every year. But those are some things, very useful information. In line with that, if we were to take, which we started in 88, 85, when the basis of this came out, we were supposed to have 25% reduction. We're still between 23 and 25% with the recyclables versus the municipal solid waste. At that time, C&D was not included in there. Now C&D is included in the total tipping formula, which throws the recyclable thing down to about 21%. So yes, we're still meeting it. No, we're not by the time you throw C&D in it. So we haven't really changed that much in the last 18 years. The next thing on there is a SARC sales tonnage. At a couple council meetings, there was some conversation as to what we sold and the values of it. This shows you every year of the history on the front and the back of what we sold each year. You'll see sometimes, like magazines, there's zeros for 1 year. We never weren't able to market them till a certain point. When we finally get down a lot further on the back, you'll see magazines, then there's no zeros, there became zeros again. That's when we were able to put magazines and newspapers together, commingle more products into one category. If you take the opportunity to look through all that, this will tell you what the revenues for each product each year was and the tonnages. It'll also give you some spikes and highs and lows. Part of that's due to the value of the product, and then also how much product we've got in over a certain period of time. You'll see there was 1 year that we had very little glass value. The only recycler of glass was Shakopee, Minnesota. They went into bankruptcy court. We was lucky to even get rid of this stuff. In fact, that was the time we started hauling green glass out to the landfill because we had some stored up. They definitely wouldn't take that, and they wouldn't take anything anywhere for quite a while. The next packet is the history of development of the Sac County Solid Waste Agency. Now, in this is not only just part of your investment, this is also a record of everything that you own. I also have records in files that tells you all the work, repair history, and everything on each piece of equipment that we have. This will not, this plus, as it states in one of the other ones, is after 11th month, 29th day of 91. You had invested at that point $241,849. Since that time, your investment investment. Some of this is, I had to replace some pumps. Apparently they don't like dark places where they're covered up. I've had to replace them 3 or 4 times, so that must be they need more sunlight. Actually, they go to hell a lot faster than you think. But everything else is listed. Tools, bolts, things to make improvements. Part of these things came from the yearly budget. Part of these things come from like a $25,000 or $28,000 forklift. Solid Waste actually cut the check for it. Next month I can, instead of giving you more paper now, I'll go back through there and show you the hard dollars you put into it and then the other dollars that actually came through the budget. The next top page here is Sac Area Recycling Center Fiscal, Operational, and Sales Report. Now this is the history of ever since we've been open. Operational expenses is first line item. Administrative subtotal, that gives you what it actually costs each year to do that. Product sales, take that off, and then solid waste agency cost minus sales. Well, you can, I don't know how you want to say minus sales, but this is your cost. This is the amount of money you spent each year sending it to the Howard Center. Started out at $40,000, on 95 went down to 24, and you thumb back through there till this last year, you had $109,280. And then it's got totals of how many you spent on recycling. $1,400,270.27. Now, then the next line item shows interest paid. You spent $172,173.52. Then it goes to the total. Tells you the total you have put into this recycling effort in 18 years, $1,572,407.82. It also tells you that how many tons you processed and how many tons you sold. You sold 17,575 tons. Now, that figures out to a short 4 years. In the 18 years this has been utilized as an instrument in reduction. I've not quite gone over this math because I haven't got a chance to run those numbers yet today. We saved the landfill site 4 years of space in 18 years. I'll also run you some numbers and show you how much next month, how much that costs as far as all this assessment is gone, because there should be a credit back against their effort on recycling as versus if you just tipped all the stuff in the landfill and how much sooner you'd have to spend money on it. Please look over these, and the last one is basically the first sheet with the Howard Center, the cost of it, and the 3 pieces of paper behind it actually tell you what the Howard Center, everything that they paid for is involved in. The first page actually tells you, this is something Ivan was asking about the last time, and it says this total development cost was $676,120. And then you go down through it, it tells who provided which funds, the DNR, $150,000, solid waste, Howard Center, and then there's some reimbursable credits for sales tax and some other things that brought it down to what you're paying interest on is $264,827.18. And then it lists everything that the Howard Center had spent in that period of time from 89 to 93. That was at that time they no longer had to invest any more money. You've invested some other monies for forklifts and improvement upgrades and things like that. Take these home, share them with your communities, your councilmen. Make sure that your clerks all get an opportunity to make a copy so they'll have them in their files.